More top searches for real estate globally, as presented by Gary Keller. Ready?
I'm ready.
Why buying real estate is a good investment.
Oh my. So why buying real estate is a good investment? The overarching sentiment as I consult with clients and build out their map per se is tax planning and control. It's an alternative investment. So when you think investment, most people in the primary markets are talking about equities, stocks, bonds, be it in a
My 401k,
Correct.
my Roth IRA, those are investments. Or I buy, shares of Apple.
Yeah, so you can buy shares of Apple in a qualified account, which is retirement, or non-qualified account, which is your traditional account. So retirement, like you mentioned, 401k, Roth IRAs, there's a myriad of investment vehicles there.
That's mainstream.
When you compare that to real estate is what's termed an alternative investment to those other primary markets. And the ability for real estate to offer tax planning and control. So at Corbett Consulting, what we talk about consistently as the hub between financial planning, estate planning, tax planning, mortgage and real estate planning, and we translate all that through our hub, our connection hub. Tax planning and control is the number one way in the United States to build wealth and build generational wealth. Most people don't play in that space and comprehend it. Not only do we play in that space, but we comprehend it at a high level.
And we coach it and we teach it.
The second piece of, or silo, if you will, is leverage. So not just leveraging assets, but leveraging time, leveraging experience, leveraging relationships, leveraging technology. And then the third, coupled together, is cash flowing assets. So real estate can provide all of that. In fact, it's the only asset class in the world, and this is important, and it may surprise a lot of people. It's the only asset class in the world that offers amortization, interest on a loan, depreciation, tax planning and control, leverage. If I want to put $100,000 into Apple, I need $100,000. If I want to buy a $100,000 house, I could, in some cases, buy it with 0% down, 50% down, but I don't need $100,000 to do it. That's leverage. And then the fourth, hold on, let me finish. The fourth is cash flow, income. So amortization, depreciation, leverage, and income. No other asset class provides for all four.
I don't really think of it that way with the investment part of leveraging financing. I know it, but it doesn't immediately come top of mind. And I'm sure it doesn't for a lot of people either. So I'm going to say it again. If you want to buy a $100,000 investment in Apple stock, you need $100,000 cash.
Yes.
If you want to buy $100,000 in real estate, you don't need $100,000.
In some cases, you need zero as it relates to how you make your offer.
So
But that's-
leverage.
That's loan dependent.
Yeah, that's, we know this, but why don't we think of it that way? Thanks, Brandon.
You're welcome.
Can you talk a little bit more about the appreciation and depreciation in the tax scenario? I mean, just explain that a little bit more for our listeners.
Tax planning itself is not directly related to appreciation. It would be on an exit, when you're going to sell and maybe run your profits through an exchange, like a 1031 exchange, and defer the taxes. So the direct correlation to tax planning and control is depreciation. So on investment real estate, commercial is 39 years, residential is 27 and a half years. Very simple formula. What's the value of the real estate? Subtract the land, right? So if you buy something for $125,000 and you subtract the land value of $25,000 in this example, you have $100,000 that remains. When you divide that number by 39, commercial, or you divide that number by 27 and a half, residential, that's a depreciation line item expense. That's a tax planning and control mechanism that appears right on your tax return. Does not matter whether it's a partnership return or whether it's an individual return.
So it's a write-off.
It's a write-off, yes. And what that does is it lowers your income on the property based on the depreciation factor. And so let's just say that you make $25,000 in income a year on a property and you have $25,000 in depreciation. Just that line item itself wipes out the income. And then everything else brings in a loss. And that loss is then split if you're a partnership or carries forward to your personal return if it's solo. Either way, it carries forward to your personal return. So tax planning and control is critical because effectively you can get a free house. You can also not pay tax on the money that you're making. So when you talk about real estate tax planning and control, it's really the number one way that you can build generational wealth, especially in the United States.
So that's speaking to the investment side. It's bringing also to my mind one of Gary Keller's vision speeches at one of our conventions called Family Reunion at Keller Williams, where
A few of those.
Yeah. He was on stage and he was talking and speaking to real estate professionals with a different voice. And he was talking about the two most important things in life for everyone:
Yeah, I remember this.
food and shelter. If we were to coach our younger generation, the new first-time home buyers, the two most important things we will spend money on is food and shelter. And shelter is the real estate investment. And is this next generation saving enough money to put towards the investment of shelter like previous generations did? And then he furthermore went on to say, if you're a real estate professional and you're not investing in real estate yourself, you need to ask yourself, why? If it's such a great investment, if it's such a great opportunity, that listing, why aren't you buying it yourself?
The ability to not just say that and instead understand that and then put that out there as paying it forward for the Keller Williams groups of realtors across the world, it really begins to highlight the entrepreneurial spirit that Keller Williams itself is a proponent of. And Gary Keller, I'm not Gary Keller, of course, but I wake up at 3 a.m. too, and I think about my businesses and the stresses associated in life.
You say that because in Gary's email, The Chew, he's talking about his 3 a.m. thoughts. And he puts them in these monthly emails, and I just find it fascinating and also so comforting to understand that he has such similar thoughts, these 3 a.m. Like either it's when you're an entrepreneur, you wake up and you panic about something, and it's what you didn't get to, or it's what you need to build, or it's the next step. And he has the same thing. And it's just reinforcement, because sometimes I think we feel alone in that.
Well, inherently people are average, and that's not a shot. It's just that there's very few look at athletes, and professional athletes. So they're the top 1% of athletes in the world. And then think about how many people play, let's just call it college football. More people play college football, American football, than play professional football. And even more people play high school football than play college football. And in college, you have different rankings, right? Mm-hmm. And then Pee Wee League, there's a lot more people that play Pee Wee League than do, organized sports and junior high or high school. So as you progress down, the base gets broader.
Yeah. So we have like the Gary Kellers and the Grant Cardones, and then
Barbara Corcoran is an example.
Yeah, that top tier. We're like what? Like, D3, AAA.
I don't even know if I've made it that far yet. Point being that they're entrepreneurs and they invest in real estate, and they have groups of followers, individuals, mentorship for them that fall into real estate agents is one mentorship category, clearly. And what Gary is impressing upon all the KW agents, not just KW agents, but realtors in general, is if that house is so good or that piece of real estate is so good, why aren't you buying it yourself? And the oddity of that, and this is true for, clients that I work with that happen to be licensed realtors that themselves are struggling to build a real estate portfolio because they're so focused on work. And it's part of the strategy of working together with them to mentor them with empowering to learn about how to build wealth with real estate.
So I think another great topic or answer to this topic, which is why buying real estate is a good investment, is also diversity. Circling back to most people have a 401k or an IRA or some type of conventional investment, and real estate is just another way to diversify your portfolio. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, so to speak.
Very true. And it's also putting your money to work. The amount of capital that you have, money that you have sitting in the bank and saving it is not giving you, any return. I recently was talking with some folks about the rule of 72. And it's just basically how long is it going to take your real estate investment, to double? If you're earning 10%, it's going to take you about 7 years. So you take the amount 72, you divide it by your percent return, that equals the number of years. So if you cut that in half, well, you're going to double that. And as you double that is in double the time. So the longer that it takes you to build on your capital, your money, then the longer it's going to take you to become comfortable, because we're all running after the same thing. I don't know if it's just retirement, but basically it's how can we live more comfortably and not be so stressed about paying bills and really being an adult.
Right.
Can I be I don't know, 5 years old again?
It's about enjoying the journey, not the destination.
That's right.